So we are up to the 7th parak here. Actually, the Suffer parak Zay. Last week we got into a big argument about capitalism and communism, and which is the lesser of two evils. So
Who won?
what? Capitalism by a hair. So so now this is a continuation of this discussion. If you're going to ask, why is it that somebody who has an ambition, who has a drive, is never satisfied? Right? If you have a million, you want 2 million. If you have a billion, you want 2 billion. Right? Why is that? There's something wonderful and deep in this. Here. Halo she'ifo koach moshech. She'ifa, ambition, is like a gravitational pull. It's a force which pulls in. Hashem shol, I think the term is centripetal, which takes in. Hashem shol loves kol Hashem mechutzalo. It draws into it everything which is outside of it. It's not like a natural hunger. Natural hunger means that I want to fill out my stomach. Now, the truth is, human beings, unlike animals, will go way past where they should go in terms of eating and drinking. But nevertheless, there's some point at which you're really satisfied. You know, the ancient Romans, in order to avoid this, they had vomitariums, where they used to go and vomit up the food and drink which they just had, so they could have some more, right? Because at some point, a person is full. So at that point, the hunger goes away. But somebody falls into the desire for money, etc. You don't want something which is specific and measured. You have a new kind of taiva, an artificial taiva. It's not something which your body wants. It's nothing to do with your body. Making a lot of money is nothing to do with your body, and nothing to do with your pleasure. It's not a hedonistic desire. It's not one which is based on pleasure, in which case it could be finite, right? Okay, I got the pleasure, right? How much more you go? But it's not. It's something totally different. It's l'archiv es tchumo, to expand my boundaries, to expand my domain. Lakachas latzmo davar shehu. I take myself something which is chutzalo mipnei she chutzalo. It's to get something outside of you because it's outside of you. That's the idea of this unceasing ambition. I want it because it's outside of me. It's a challenge, right? And that's why people who have people who the same thing with people who do any other type of it's not just money, right? There are people who pursue women not because they need the sexual gratification. It's because that woman is an object which I want to encompass within my domain. And this is true about many other taivas which we have. So it's it's not because there's something significant in this pleasure or this acquisition that I want them. It's only because it's outside of me. I want to include and encompass everything. That's what taiva and chesed are similar in that I want to connect with others. But chesed is I want to connect with them where they are. Taiva is I want to draw them into me.
I just wanted to make a note that I saw that when it comes to addictions, the high the person's pursuing is not getting that thing, it's the process of getting it.
Right, exactly. Yes. Umimela. So and automatically, and this is the sign this is true. Once he gets the things which he desired, they're not really worthwhile in his eyes. And they won't satisfy his desire. Then that when he sees he's not satisfied, he's going to try to break his hunger by getting something else, which is beyond him again. Like Donald Trump with wives, or not wives, women. That's the idea. He just wants to encompass more and more because it's outside of him, not because he actually derives different or higher pleasures from it. So, had plenty of pleasure already. Most rich people want more money. And they're going to be most their nefesh for it, more than poor people. Poor people, okay, they want money, but they're not going to be most their nefesh the same thing like a rich person. Rich person's going to have much more serious nefesh to get money than a poor person. Why is that? It should be the opposite. But the answer is because the rich person doesn't want the money because he needs the money. Doesn't want the money even because he wants the money. He wants whatever's outside of him. And that's there's no limit to that. Chazal say yesh lema mea wrote to Masayim. If you have 100, you want 200. Masayim, you have 200, wrote to 400, so you want to have 400. Even when it reaches that plateau, it's not enough. It continues on. It's not just, as we just said, that just by monetary desires. So now he's going to talk about the other taivas, including sexuality. The Gemara says, there's somebody who they suspected he was an adulterer. And he was hiding in the husband's house. The husband came home. He wanted to eat something from which a snake had tasted, and which was considered to be poison. It was potentially deadly. And that adulterer, he was hiding in the closet. He saw through the slats, and he called out to the Ba'abais, "Don't eat it. You're going to die if you eat it, because I saw a snake inject its venom into it." So, Rava says, you know what? He's really not a noif. He can't be an adulterer. Why? Because he was really an adulterer. He wanted the husband to die so he could get the wife. Right? If he was committing adultery with the wife, so he wants the husband to die. Would not have shouted out and saved him. So the Gemara asks, Pshita, is that obvious? What's Rava's Chiddush? Obviously, it makes sense. He's saving the husband must mean he is not committed to the wife. He doesn't have an inappropriate relationship with her. Daretzis, no. The Gemara answers. Shulai ha'yisa omer shebemes noefu. You might say he's really an adulterer. Avol noach lo sheyeh baal. He wants the husband to survive. Why? Kedei shetei yishola b'chinas mayim gnuvim mitaku v'lechem storm yinam. He wants the wife to be in the category of stolen waters are sweet, and bread which you secretly obtained inappropriately is pleasant to you. Kamashlan, therefore that's a chiddush. In other words, you might think that no, he is an adulterer, and part of the geschmack of adultery is that she is married, right? I want her to be married in order that I should have the full pleasure of adultery, the full thrill of adultery. So, so Gemara asks, so that's the end of Gemara. But then that's why Abadai Kosha Ulai Bemes Hukein. You know what? It's such a strong Havamina, such a strong premise. Why isn't it true? Right? Why isn't that true? Unfortunately, Mishama Taisvus, so Taisvus deals with this. Says, Shenoif any of that in the Shemayim doing Yutaku. Yeah. The noif doesn't chap. The adulterer doesn't chap that part of the reason why he finds this so geschmack is because of the illicit character of it. He thinks, erroneously, that it's because of the woman. It's not because of the woman at all. It's because of the thrill of the illicit behavior. And therefore, if the husband dies, It's not going to work out. Most people who commit adultery and get married afterwards, it doesn't last. Because the thrill was the thrill of it being illegal, illicit, inappropriate. And without that thrill, the thing dies. So that he doesn't realize that. He doesn't understand that that's the psychology which is what drove him till now. So he says, after explain says it further. Let's explain it, just explain. Kibala taiva. Person is dire loyada, he doesn't know. Should the kifas taiva, so the drive of his taiva bought dafka, comes specifically mizet shemevukasho nimna mimenu fisha. It's the challenge of the quest. And part that his pleasure comes from the fact that this thing is off limits for him for now. If you'll attain it, without difficulty and it'll get it in a permitted way, the taste will be diminished and his pleasure will diminish. It's a similar thing by hunting. Hunting is not going to be, nobody who that has a famous tshuva, which he is asked, whether Jews are allowed to hunt for sport. Okay, you won't be able to eat it because it'll be treif, but you can hunt for sport. So nobody says it's not usher, but it's meat of Esav. Jews don't hunt. So what is the pleasure of the hunt? If I want a steak, I can go to the supermarket and get it with much less bother, and it's probably going to be cheaper in the long run, right? So the idea is that there is in the hunt there is that attainment of, again, it's not a Jewish thing to attain something by killing it, but there's this attainment of something by the thrill of the kill, and the thrill of the kill is something which is, the chase makes it something which is it's not illegal perhaps, but something which is not 100% ethical, and not 100% in what a moral person would do, and therefore hunting becomes something which we look down upon because it seems a lot of the pleasure of hunting comes from not forgetting the meat, but like you said before, from the quest, from the chase, right? So he thinks that all my happiness is just if I get this thing. If you just get it, you're going to be happy forever. If he knew how much imagination there is in this, in other words, false imagination, he would not pursue it anymore. Now, this is built into our modern culture, and that's the idea of advertising. Advertising makes everything look like it's something you're getting, which is way beyond what it actually is, right? That's why, you want to sell a car, you put a beautiful girl next to the car, right? Because in your mind, you associate, cars are going to get me this girl. And we thrive on these kinds of illusions, which make you think that, this car is going to answer all my, going to resolve all my issues. It won't resolve anything for you. But more than that, there is the American system, capitalist system, is based on planned obsolescence, which means that the computer you buy today, the moment you buy it, it already lost its geschmack because the next year's model is going to be better. There's always a better model. And the car, before their computers, there was cars, right? They built in every year that the previous year's model will be obsolete, right? So that you look for the next model, right? And you think if I have the next model, then I'll be happy. But you're not going to be happy because it's always going to be something else. And once I get it, it doesn't have that geschmack anymore. With cars, I don't have that. But with computers, I definitely feel that way. You need this computer or this phone, and then when I have it, all my problems going to be solved. No, nothing's solved whatsoever. Then I want to have the next one. So that's the thing, something which is mutter, but it's much more so something which is also that the isser is intrinsic to my pleasure. So something which is mutter, part of the pleasure is I want to encompass it, and once I encompass it, it doesn't have the same luster anymore. But when it's something which is usher, that's certainly part and parcel of the pleasure, so to speak, of it. And once I obtain it, doesn't have that pleasure anymore. So we know why somebody who has an ambition and is never satisfied. He wants something which is nothing. He doesn't want a thing. He doesn't want a tangible thing. He wants something intangible. And that intangible thing is something which is he never is going to be able to accomplish, because it's always going to be outside. It's going to be beyond him. Because there's something else beyond this. There's another thing beyond that. There's never an end to it. And he's always just retaining, even if he attains the thing, it's ruach, because the thing was not it. It was the thing that was outside of him, and then what's the next thing was outside of him. So Chacham was astounded about this. Why does the person now learn from his experience? His whole life he's pursuing matters of this world. And when he gets them, he doesn't have enough from them. I need to go back to electronics. Like everybody, my drawers and closets are full of things gadgets which I thought would be tremendously fun and pleasurable, and then they just fall by the wayside because once you have them, they don't have the same pleasure anymore. So but why don't I understand that? Well, I understand that the next toy is not going to make me feel any better. Why do I still want the next toy? So he says that why is that? Why don't we learn to desist? If you already feel that whatever you obtain is nothing, why does he not know that whatever he gets next is not going to be the same thing? It's not going to be exactly the same. Where's our intellect? Human beings that pride themselves on their intellect. If we're smart, we should realize it's never going to be enough. I tell you, I don't have much taiva for money myself. I don't want. It's not my taiva is covered. I really have a lust for covered. I know. I'm sure you can all tell that. But you never get enough covered. That's right. You can be Rodiv HaChesed is a classic example of this. It's never enough, because there's always that covered outside. I want that new cover. The cover I got, it's not good enough.
Also, say cover is a lot faster.
What?
They say cover is very fast.
Right.
And if you chase it, it runs away. It runs away from it, it catches you.
Yes. So I figured, when I put on a frock, well, there's one more cover than a frock. No, it's not enough. So there's always more. So and you can keep pursuing it. Hevel means steam, vapor, nothing. It's that with the desire for things in this world is vapor. If it's what's outside of you, why do you need it? Everything you already got evaporated. What makes the next thing's not going to evaporate? You're not going to be satisfied with them. If whatever you got doesn't satisfy you, then you should understand whatever you're going to get, it's not going to satisfy you either, because it's this the artificial desire to encompass more and more and more, and it's never going to stop. That which you call money and acquisition, it's only imagination. A person can't acquire a material object which becomes one with him. It's going to become part and parcel of his body. Not part and parcel of his soul. So what does it mean to own something? Ownership just means that the object is available for my use. Other people won't take it from me. A person doesn't understand. Money does, obviously the cliche is you can't take it with you. But then, when I was in graduate school taking courses in counseling, so they one of the things they point out was that money is an incredible thing, because you can't eat money, you can't drink money, you get any direct pleasure from money, And yet money is what everybody wants. What do you mean? Why would you want money? You want a horse. Okay, I can ride a horse. I can't ride a coin, right? I can eat a cake. I can't eat a coin. So they have all sorts of svaras why people want money. But then the svaras, look at, money represents all those, whatever. But according to Rav Dessler, it's poshut. The reason why I want money is because you don't want money. You want anything which is outside of you. And there's always more money outside of you. So there's no end to the amount of money I want.
No, I mean, they say money can't buy happiness, but sure as heck helps,
We know it doesn't.
It does, though.
No, it doesn't really.
It does.
Yes, no. Happiness which comes from money is not really happiness. It's something else. It's pleasure, but it's not happiness. But happiness has to come from inside. We're going to get to that. Woe to a person who tries to connect to something to which you can't connect. It's not going to come, and he's only going to get tsar. He's only going to get anguish. It's always going to be empty. This is something already which we have to go into more. The next chapter. What is true ambition? And ambition is important because ambition is humanity. To be alive is to have ambition. So what ambition is a good ambition? That's going to be the next paragraph. He says, the ambition is to acquire things which connect to one's soul. What's the most important? What makes a person rich? More than anything else? Relationships. Because relationship means it attaches to your soul. You bond with somebody. That's real. A relationship is what really lies at the core of happiness. So therefore, money is not real. It doesn't attach to me. Yeah, I can use the money to buy a relationship. The question is what kind of relationship that is. No, I can pay my counselor, and then he's my relationship. Okay, but that's Ava Tzliya Badover. It's not so great.
I thought the Usher is Sameach B'chalko.
Ezu Usher, not Ezu Sameach. Ezu Usher is Sameach B'chalko. But it's not a Sameach. So She'ein Davar Man Om Mechiyum Shifaso. To acquire things in your soul, nothing prevents that. And it's usually it's pretty cheap too. There's no cause in the world which can steal these things he acquires. He's happy, and he's secure. And in this world and next. Okay, so again, this is only the beginning of an answer because we have to understand if Shifa is this magnetic force, how am I ever going to be happy even with a positive ambition? That he's going to discuss in the next chapter.
Sometimes after sometimes after a good coffee, I feel happy. I don't know if I.
No, that's because in English we don't have enough words. In Hebrew we have Gila, Rina, Ditza, Chedva, Ava, Achva, Shalom, V'Reis. We have many words that describe happiness. English is a very poor language when it comes to describing happiness. Mm-hmm. So that's not actually happiness.
That's a level of happiness. But it's not
yes, but it's not happy. Yeah, it's a hard thing to describe. But again, with America, that's one of our problems in America is we don't have the language to depict different types of happiness. So we just call everything happiness. Mm-hmm. Okay?
They're just satisfied. There's
satisfied. There's calm. There's placid. There's satiated.
Eskimos.
Yeah.
300.
Right. Yeah. Yes. That we don't have the tools, but we'll get into that. How different types of happiness as we go along.
So the questions were in the middle. Well, really, there's like, why do we keep going back to it? Why do people go back to something they know is like
right? Right.
That's teva. That's
definitely a teva. But them saying like we're intellectual beings and we should pick up on these things.
Very often a person goes after a failed relationship. It's because it's a challenge. They keep needing to overcome that challenge.
I think that's more. I think that's because most people can't face it. That the fact that they're in a failing situation.
Yeah, because it's still outside of them. They haven't conquered it. They want to conquer it.
No, but I don't think that's the same feeling towards someone who wants money
themselves.
Mm.
I think that's a different.
It could be.
I think that's a different that drive for money is a different drive to try to pretend that you're in a good relationship.
Right. Okay, I'm willing to go with that.
Dun, dun, dun,